Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I just wanted to hop on a live really quick. I have an upcoming episode. It is for the married folks. And basically, this show, I will have a therapist on. So that will be in 1 week when I do that show. But prior to that show, I thought it would be a great idea to invite some of you who may have some questions that you want to cover with the therapist. Um, just a reminder, this is a judgment free zone, respectful, confident space. Um, if we want to be honest about things, some marriages don't end, but intimacy quietly fades. You still live together, but you feel more like roommates than partners. So I'm announcing an upcoming episode of the Fab and Flashy Show. I'm going to have a therapist who's a specializes in marriage counseling, and he has a concept, intimacy renewal, for stagnant or roommate style marriages. And again, he's a licensed therapist. It's just something where you see common. You'll see people, they've been married for decades, and as soon as the kids graduate, they part ways. That didn't happen overnight. It's been that way for a while, and people just kind of get into this thing where it's survival mode. They're just used to it. They're keeping up appearances. It may be a financial thing, but it doesn't have to be that way. So when I sit down with a therapist, we're going to talk about emotional distance, the lack of desire, um, and just replacing that routine romance and disconnection. Now, again, I just want to emphasize this is due to non-medical reasons. Medical reasons, that's something totally different. This is just people who literally, in a sense, have just grown apart, but they're still living under the same roof, and they're just strangers. Okay, so before this episode, I just want to hear from you privately and confidentially. So I'm going to leave my contact information underneath this live and just share it with anyone who may can benefit from it. And again, it's going to be my email address, bre at fabandflashy.com. Or you can also shoot me a text, 804-234-3393. And, if you feel more comfortable giving a random email address or texting from another number, that's fine. Again, it's not going to be shared. And if you share something that I feel could divulge your identity, I will leave it out. But I'm just going to give these questions over to the therapist so that we can talk about it, because there's a lot of people that are in this situation. They feel disconnected. And they just literally are strangers in their house. So your name and identity will not be shared. And like I said, your questions will be submitted anonymously to the therapist. So you can reach me by sending me a text at 804-234-3393. Or you can email me at BRE at fabandflashy, FAB and FLASHY.com. Like I said, it doesn't happen overnight, and it can happen to any of us. Just kind of getting a routine, and we just kind of lose sight of what's in front of us. That's why date nights are important and that type of thing. So the therapist is going to really give a lot of good information. I'm going to provide more information about the therapist relatively soon. So next week I'll begin talking about the credentials. Therapist is also a pastor, certified in pastoral counseling, and is actually the author of about 34 books, self-help books, and spiritual journey books. And again, I'm going to share all of that information with you. And I just want to give encouragement to anyone that's in that situation. And this episode, typically my channel is basically for women in midlife, things that apply to us, whether we're talking about makeup and fashion, if we're talking about, women's health issues, menopause, or, whatever the case may be. But this one is for the men and the women. Okay, so I want to hear from men. I also want to hear from women, because, deep down, you may be frustrated, or just you might be harboring resentment or anger, but deep down you want that closeness again. It doesn't mean your marriage is broken. It means you care. Okay, so this conversation is very needed, and help does exist. And I just want to thank you for trusting the Fab and Flashy show. And again, I'm going to put my information down. And I want you all to have an amazing weekend. Have a happy rest of your weekend, and take care until next time. Goodbye.